Shalom family, welcome back to the channel. This is just a quick video with regards to the up and coming fasting dates that was announced last week on the live stream and also on the community post. I was planning to do this video at the beginning of next week, the week before the fast, but since I've been getting a few questions coming in, I thought it's best to address it now and then everybody has time to prepare accordingly. So I'm just going to be talking about the fasting, how it's come about, what it's about, when it is, and what the protocols are for the fast so that everyone is of one accord and of one mind and has a similar understanding. Now, personally speaking, I had it in my mind that I needed to start doing some more regular fasting. I was in a period of fasting last week, and the Most High gave me some revelation, which is always appreciated, and it seems that it's more efficient when you are on a fast because you are humbling yourself in front of the Most High, and then it's easier for you to receive the revelation that he, or the instruction that he has for you. And so my plan was always to go into December to do a fast. Now, I didn't have a particular date or anything like that, but through speaking to some other people and seeing some other ministries, I noticed that there was a few people, a few ministries fasting on the 16th of December, a 2-day fast through to the 18th. And so therefore, because the things they're fasting for are the same things that I'm believing in terms of the regathering and in terms of the Most High speaking to his people with instruction, I felt it was wise that we should all stand together in one accord and therefore fast at the same time. So that's how the date of the 16th of December has come up, and the 18th of December. And then I also decided that I would fast on the 25th of December, which is just a personal thing. A few years ago, I did fast on that day, and I will cover a bit more detail of that part of it towards the end of the video, because I did get a question regarding it, which does need to be addressed. So I'll save that till the end. So the 2-day fast will be starting on the 16th of December at 6 p.m. In the evening, and that will be for 2 days all the way through to the 18th of December, 6 p.m. in the evening. So it's like a 48-hour fast, a 2-day fast. Now, some people have asked me, what type of fast is it? Is it a water only fast, or is it a dry fast, etc., etc.? And I think we have to use wisdom when we're doing these things, because we're all in different places from a spiritual perspective, and we're all in different places from an experience perspective. And I don't feel it is fair or right to set a one rule fits all, because everybody has their own personal circumstances. Now, personally speaking, whenever I do a fast, I always do a dry fast, which is no food, no water. And that is the type of fast I will do for the allotted period. But bear in mind, I say by Yah's grace, I have been fasting for quite a while now, so I am used to it, and my body is used to being able to go without food and water for long periods of time. So I wouldn't encourage anybody to who's never been into fasting, to just start fasting like that with long periods without food and water, because if you're not used to it, then it can cause you certain problems. And actually, the worst thing you can do on a fast is not complete it, not complete the end of the fast. The whole point is to see whatever you're doing through. Messiah often talks about counting the costs, that before you start to do something, you have to weigh up whether or not you can complete it, paraphrasing. And this is the same thing. So it's better to seek counsel from the Most High and use wisdom in terms of what you know you are able to do. If you're somebody who's familiar with fasting, you've fasted before, you've gone without food and water for long periods of time, then you may choose to do a dry fast as I'm doing. But if this is new to you, or if you have other health challenges and things that can affect going without food and water, then perhaps you should do a fast with water only, or you could do a fast with raw foods only, like nuts and pulses and that sort of thing. Or you could do the Daniel fast, which you find in Daniel chapter 10, I think, which is basically vegetables, not eating any sort of pleasant foods. It's really up to you what you decide to do. And I would take it to the Most High in prayer to see where He's leading you. What we want to achieve from the fast is to be in one accord. Now, being in one accord doesn't have to be with the type of fast you're doing. It has to be with the mindset. It's the spiritual application of being in one accord, which is important. It doesn't have to be a synchronization that everybody is doing the exact same thing, because we all have different circumstances. As I say, we're living in different places, and therefore we can't be in one accord now. And the target is, by the Most High's grace, that one day we all will be in one accord and we all will be in the same place at the same time. But until that time comes, we have to make best of things as we can. So with regards to the type of fast, you will have to decide that for yourself after seeking counsel from the Most High, and then apply your faith to that and do what you feel you're able to do. Most importantly, that with the Most High's grace, you are able to complete the fast from the start period to the finish, rather than start something that you can't complete and then you have to break it midway through the fast. That wouldn't be ideal. So that's the first thing I will say with regards to the type of fast that you do. Now, with regards to the dates, of course, we are all scattered around the world. We all live in different places. And a question was asked, or it was a suggestion, that the fast, that people are standing in agreement with me, with the nation of Yasharel also, they will synchronize the fast for the same time that I am doing the fast in my time zone. So I will be starting on the 16th of December at 6 p.m. So somebody in another time zone was saying that they would also start their fast at that same time that equates to my time zone. So it might not be 6 p.m. for them, but they will do it so that their time zone matches my time zone. And I've thought about it, and what I think I'm being led to give you information on is to say, I think you should do it according to the time zone you're in. So again, going back to what I said originally, being in one accord is about the spiritual application, that we're all fasting for the same thing. The actual date is important in terms of we are seeing the progress through at that time. But if it means you're in a different time zone to me, then so be it. I wouldn't say synchronize your time zone with my time zone. And I'll explain why that is, or that will become clearer when we address the final fast on the 25th of December. So if you are standing in agreement and if you're participating in this fast, I would suggest that you also fast at on the 16th, or start your fast on the 16th at 6 p.m. in your time. So even though your time won't be the same as my time, meaning that we might start fasting and therefore end fasting at different times, but since we're both doing it on the same date that it is in our location and the same time, that makes us in one accord, even if the times are not synchronizing in terms of where we both are, if that makes any sense. So stick to the time that you're in, wherever you are, and do it at 6 p.m. on that date of the 16th, and finish on 6 p.m. on the 18th, 48 hours later. And I think if we all do that, we'll be in one accord as best as we can, taking into consideration that we are not all in the same place, in the same physical location. And that's the end goal, is that one day, by the grace of the Most High, we all will be in the same physical place, and then we can be in full synchronization. But this is just a preparation to get us to that place. So it's spiritually speaking, we want to be in one accord, in one mind. So that leads me on to the reason for fasting. And these are the reasons as to where, again, we want to be in one accord and one mind, is that we want to fast for the nation of Yasharel as a whole. So that is not so much because we are trying to petition the Most High, but we are just bringing before him the remembrance of his people, the remembrance of his prized inheritance that he is waiting to inherit at the appointed time. And so we want to lift the nation collectively up in front of the Most High's face. We want to seek his face and lift the nation up for him to remember us. Now, obviously, the Most High doesn't forget anything. He knows exactly what's going on and what's in all our minds and our thoughts. But as a confession of our faith, we want to obey the commands that we are given, that we should fast so that we can seek his face. And part of the fast is that we are lifting up the nation of Yasharel collectively to the Most High, asking him to remember us where we are and to visit us with instruction and clarity, because we are moving into a season where if we are not well informed, then we are going to be misinformed, and misinformed can lead to a terrible circumstance in terms of our spiritual life and our physical life, and we don't want to be in that place. So we want to be hearing from the Most High collectively as a nation, as a body, but we also want to be hearing from him individually, because as I already mentioned, we all have our own circumstances, and our own circumstances are going to therefore mean that there are some things that some of us can do and some things that we can't do. So we need instruction from the Most High as to where he wants us to be, where he wants us to position ourselves, and many of the challenges that some of us have, whether it's to do with our jobs, whether it's to do with our spouses, whether it's to do with finances, whatever the case may be, we want to hear from the Most High about us collectively as a body, but also individually. So this is why this fast has been called, so that we're in one accord about these things. And as we are making our supplications to the Most High through our fasting and our prayer and our concentration on listening to his word, then in due course, in the due season, he will give us the instruction that we need. So this is the reason why we are synchronizing these things from a spiritual perspective. That's what we are fasting for. And then finally, the other part of the fast will also be just in order for us to make sure that we are aligned with his thinking. Because coming out of religion, coming out of churchianity, there are many things that we need to make sure we leave behind and not take with us on our journey. So part of the fast is also to ask the Most High to cleanse us in our mind, in our body, and in our soul, in our ruach, that we are ridding the things of Babylon, that we are not trying to bring these things with us, talking from all perspectives, not just physically, but emotionally and spiritually and mentally, that we are leaving these things behind, that we will not go into be like Lot's wife who turned back to look what she's leaving behind. We are going to be tunnel vision, focused on the future, focused on the path ahead. And by seeking the Most High's face and humbling ourselves during the fast, I believe we can get him to, not get him to do something because he's going to do what he's going to do, but we can petition him to understand our desires to want to do these things. And that's what being in one accord and the purpose of the fast will be for. So hopefully that gives you some clarity collectively on what we're fasting for and also individually. And we have to do it by faith as we fast, being a period of reflection of what the Most High is doing and the times and seasons that we're in, and also being in a period of hope because of the things that are coming and the things that we know are going to be wonderful should we just stay on course and stay on path. So we're looking for the Most High's deliverance to take us into that place of hope and expectation. So those are the reasons collectively and individually for the fast. We know the date, we know the times, and we know the type of fast that we are going to do, which is based on how we are led after seeking counsel from the Most High. And that brings me on to the final point, which is the fasting on the 25th. Now, this fast on the 25th of December is not a nationwide fast. I haven't heard of other ministries doing it, but the Ruach does lead And maybe there are some people that have it in them to fast on this day. Now, I'll give you a personal testimony. I can't remember exactly when. I think it was in 2018. I did do a fast on December the 25th. And of course, we know December the 25th is a pagan feast day, and it is not a feast that we keep. And somebody asked me the question, why are you fasting on that day when it's a pagan feast day? Well, understand that when the Most High's feast days come, with the exception of one feast, which is a Day of Atonement, we are not supposed to fast on the Most High's feast day, because the Most High's feast day, be it unleavened bread, be it Feast of Tabernacles, Feast of Trumpets, the Feast of Shavuot and Pentecost, all these other feasts, they are celebrations. So on those feast days, we are supposed to commune and rejoice, and we're supposed to feast to celebrate, because feasting is part of celebration. So we would never fast on the Most High's feast day, with the exception of the Day of Atonement. And therefore, because of that, if we are fasting on a particular day, it means it is not a feast day. Now, we all know that December the 25th is a pagan feast day. So the mere fact that we are fasting on it shows that we are not acknowledging it as a feast. Because whilst the majority of the world will be feasting and having their festive cheer, we will be mourning, because that's part of what fasting is doing, and we will be seeking supplication from the Most High and fasting on a day that means nothing to us other than a normal day. And that's exactly the purpose of fasting on that day, so that we are separating ourselves from the rest of the world who are enjoying on that day, in inverted commas. They are acknowledging it as a feast day, and they are acknowledging it as something that is a holiday, or in their terms, a holy day of their pagan days. So that's the reason for fasting. Now, as I said, a few years ago, I did fast on that day, and I found it quite liberating for those exact reasons, that I was going against the grain. In my mind, I know that many of the people that I know and many of the people that I associate with, obviously they practice those pagan days. So in my mind, I knew I was separating, segregating, and being sanctified from that practice, because whilst everybody were opening presents and doing all these other things that they do, eating, drinking, rejoicing in their own twisted way, I was separate from that in my mind. And that was a liberating feeling. It felt good, and it allowed me to focus on the things that the Most High was trying to instruct me in at that time in my life. Now, when I did that particular fast, I can't remember fully, but I'm pretty sure I fasted from the evening of the 24th until the evening of the 25th. And as I said, it was a liberating experience, and I enjoyed it, and I give thanks to the Most High that He saw me through. But one thing that I was slightly disappointed with, and this is something that on reflection and hindsight after, I said, if I do this again, I will change it, is that because I started on the 24th and finished on the 25th, I did end up breaking fast on that pagan feast day. So even though most people would have been celebrating and having their meals at 2 or 3 o'clock in the evening, I ended up having mine at sort of 6 or 7, my normal meal that I would have. Can't remember what food was cooked then, but whatever it was. But it still gave me kind of visions of, even though you've set yourself aside or set yourself apart from joining in any festive activities because you don't believe in them and you know they're pagan, but yet you're still breaking your fast on that same day. You haven't fully abstained from food on that day. And of course, there is no commandment to do that. There is nowhere in scripture that says that when the pagans are having a feast day, we need to fast. It doesn't say that. And that's not why anyone should do it, because they're trying to be in obedience to what is written, because that's not written. But my own just personal conviction gave me satisfaction to know that I was standing aside from those things. But as I say, because I did end up breaking fast in the evening of the 25th, I was kind of reflective and saying, well, next time if I do it, I will make sure that if I'm fasting on that day, I will not eat at all on that day. And that's why the 25th fast, rather than being from the evening till the evening, it will be from the morning till the following morning. So it will start on the 25th at 6 a.m. and it will go through till the 26th of December at 6 a.m., which means at no point throughout the pagan feast day will I not be fasting. And I think that's more in line with how I feel is right. And this is just a personal thing. So again, you are more than welcome to join me. You're more than welcome to observe the same thing I'm observing. I'm doing it from a place of amunah, a place of faith, believing that it is right for me to do personally, because obviously I'm seeking instruction and clarity and all these things from the Most High. And if you choose to do the same, then I will be glad for you to join me, and I will appreciate the support, and I'll appreciate the fact that you two are making that decision. That's absolutely great. But do understand it is not something that you're commanded to do on that particular day. And if you don't feel comfortable doing it, then you shouldn't do it. The Bible says whatever is not of faith is sin. So if you're not convinced in your own mind that it's right for you, then seek the Most High. And if he doesn't give you that go ahead to do it, then by all means do not go ahead and do that, because you've got to be obedient to the Most High as your first point of call. But I believe that if you're coming from a place of sincerity and coming from a place of just wanting to seek the Most High's face, he will never tell you not to fast apart from if it is already written in scripture, which would be on a feast day that he has set aside, his feast day, with the exception, as I say, of the Day of Atonement. So hopefully that gives you some understanding and clarity as to where I'm personally coming from. And as I say, I believe that standing in agreement, standing in one accord with others in the body is a very, very powerful tool. It's something that we can't see what's happening in the physical realm, but believe me, in the spiritual realm, things are changing when people stand in agreement. Like Messiah said, where there are 2 or 3 gathered in my name, there I am in the midst of them. And that is what, from a spiritual perspective, we will be doing when we come in one accord, in one agreement, in one mind, and do things as best as we can collectively. So as I say, the timings may be different because of the time zones and where we are throughout the world. The type of fast may be different because of our situation physically and what we can and can't handle. But if we're of the same mind, of the same ruach that rose Messiah from the dead, then that collective fast will be a powerful tool. And the revelation and all the things we're seeking from it will, I believe, by the grace of the Most High, be given at the appointed and appropriate time. So I hope that brings some clarity on the situation. We still have over a week and a half to go, so you can prepare as best you can, however you're led to do so. If you have any questions, please do put them on the comments and I'll do my best to answer them. And thank you for watching. Please share this with others that may not know what we're doing and why, and it may encourage them to join in. And as the Most High wills, so let it be. Thank you for listening and watching, and to all those that are his, may Yah bless and keep you.